Dear students, in this video tutorial, you will learn how to create a recursive function in C++. Recursive function is nothing but a function called by itself. First, we will see what is recursion and what is recursive function. A function that calls itself is known as recursive function. And this process is called as, or the technique is called as recursion. We can solve many problems quite easily by using recursion or recursive function. This will give you the clear idea about how a recursive function works. Here in the left side you can see that inside the main function I have called a function recurse, which is defined before the main function. In the function definition I called that function by itself. That means here you can see that the recurse function also calls the same function inside that function definition. This is called as recursion, a function called by itself. Then what will happen in the case of recursive call? That you can see in the right side. Here you can see that when I called a function recurse in the main function, the control will goes to the function definition. Inside the function definition, I will call the function recurse again. Then what will happen is the control again goes to the function definition. Then execute the set of statements inside that function definition. Then again I will call the function recurse. It will again go back to the function definition and execute the set of statements before the function call. So this will continue until some conditions met. So to prevent infinite iterations, you can use if-else statement or similar approach inside the function definition. This is an example of how to find factorial of a number using recursion. To find factorial of a number, I have declared a function factorial before the main function. Then inside the main function, I accept an input number from the user to find factorial, and that number is assigned to variable n. Then I called a function factorial by passing the value of n. Then the control will goes to the function definition. Then inside the function definition, you have to write a condition for iteration and the condition for termination. Here the condition for iteration is if n greater than 1, perform the task n into factorial of n minus 1. Otherwise, the condition for termination is if n is not greater than 1, you have to return value 1. That is the terminating condition. Otherwise, this loop will continue infinite number of times. So for an example, suppose I am taking an input value as 4, then that value 4 is assigned to variable n in the main function. Then I called a function factorial by passing the value 4. Then factorial of 4 will be called. Then the control will goes to the function definition. Then it will check if 4 is greater than 1. In that case condition is true. Then what will happen is it will return 4 into factorial of n minus 1. That is factorial of 3. And n minus 1 is 4 minus 1, that is 3. So here what is happened is the function factorial is calling again by itself by passing value 3. So the factorial of 3 will be called inside the factorial function. So again the control will goes to the beginning of function definition and it will again check if 3 is greater than 1. The condition is again true, then it will perform 3 into factorial of n minus 1, that is 3 minus 1, 2. So factorial of 2 will be called. Again it is calling by itself. So the control again will goes to the beginning and it will again check 2 is greater than 1. The condition is true, then it will perform 2 into factorial of 1. N minus 1 is 2 minus 1 and the value is 1. So again it will call by itself. So the control again goes to the beginning of the function definition. It will again check 1 is greater than 1. Here the condition is not true. So it will goes to the control will goes to the else part and it will return a value 1. So the final factorial function return a value 1. So it will again return 1 into 1 to the previous state. 2 into 1 to the previous state. It will again return 3 into 2 to the previous state. It will again return 4 into 6 to the previous state. Like that it will continue. So you will get a result 24. Then I will show you how it is working or how it is happening in the next slide. This is what is happening when you call a function factorial by passing the value 4. So in the previous example, inside the main function, when you call function factorial by passing the value 4, the control will goes to the function definition. So when you call factorial of 4, the control will goes to the function definition. Then the 4 is assigned to the formal parameter inside the function definition, whatever it may be, n or num, whatever it may be, the value is assigned to that variable. Then it will check if that number is greater than 1. Here 4 is greater than 1, it is true. Then it will return 4 into factorial of number minus 1, that is 3. 4 minus 1 is 3. So actually what is happened here is the factorial function is calling by itself by passing another value 3. So factorial of 3 will be called. In that case the same function is called again. So the value 3 is assigned to the formal parameter num. Then it will again check if 3 is greater than 1. If it is true, it will return 3 into factorial of num minus 1, that is 2. Here you can see that again the same function is called by passing the value 2. So factorial 2 will be called. At that time again the same function is executing one more time. So the value 2 is assigned to the formal parameter num. Then it will again check 2 is greater than 1. Again the same condition is true. It will return 2 into factorial of number minus 1, that is 2 minus 1 is 1. So again it will call by itself. So the function is again called by passing the value 1. The 1 is assigned to the formal parameter num and it will check if 1 greater than 1. In that case condition is not true. It will goes to the else part, then it will return 1. Here in the right side you can see that in that step this is the terminating condition. If the num value is not greater than 1, it will return a value 1 and it will go up like this. So in the final step it will return a value 1 when you call factorial of 1. Then that is multiplied with 2 in the previous step. You will get a result 2. This result will again pass into the previous state. So you will get 3 into 2, that is 6 is returned to the previous step. So 4 into 6 will be performed. Then you will get 24 and that is passed into the main function and the result is displayed. This is what is happening when a recursive function works. These are the explanations of what I have explained in the previous slide. You just go through these points, then understand what is happening in each case. When I called a function by passing the value 4, what will happen? That is explained in the first step. In the second factorial call, what will happen? That is explained in the second step. In the third factorial call, what will happen? That is explained in the third step. The step 4 will explain what will happen when you meet terminating condition, that is when you call factorial of 1. Then step 5 explains how the written values are passed into the previous states. Then step 6 also explains how the written values passed into the previous step. Then finally step 7 explains how you will get the result and how the result is returned to the main function, how it is displayed on the screen. So this is a practice question for you. The question is, write a C++ program to generate Fibonacci series using recursion. The Fibonacci series is nothing but the first value of Fibonacci series is always 0. The second value of Fibonacci series is always 1. That is f0 is 0 and f1 is 1. Then you will get the next Fibonacci element by adding the first two values. That is f of 2 is f of 0 plus f of 1. That is f of n minus 1 plus f of n minus 2. So you can see that in the sample output, when I displayed first 10 Fibonacci numbers, the first value is 0, second value is 1, then the third value you will get by adding first and second value. That is 0 plus 1 is 1. That is the third value. Then fourth value you will get by adding previous two values. That is 1 plus 1 you will get 2. Now fifth term you will get by adding previous two. That is 1 plus 2, 3. Like that. So just practice it by using recursive function. Then for running the program you can use any online compilers that I have mentioned in the first tutorial video. This is an end of online tutorial of recursion in C++. Thank you.